Hey Eve, thank you for hopping on a quick call with me. Can you please, for everyone who's watching, introduce yourself a little bit? Where are you from and what were you doing before the program?
Yes, sure. Well, I'm Eve. I'm originally Dutch, but I live in London and have done so for the last 20 years. I um I was and I still am working as a senior product consultant for a large corporate consultancy company. And but yeah, I was very keen to explore ways to get out of the corporate world,
Hmm.
especially as a bit older woman. It can be very competitive, and I think it would be lovely to be accountable to myself and just myself rather than the the sometimes somewhat political demands in large
Hmm. Yeah.
organizations.
Okay, awesome. So what would you say was the most valuable part of the program for you?
I think for me, from the start, there was just a really positive energy. I was like, I doubted, quite a lot, like, geez, Eve, are you really gonna do this? You've
Hmm.
seen ads on Instagram. Is this the thing that you're gonna go for? So, but there was such positive energy coming from it. And I don't know. I mean, it was for me also somehow comforting that there was a high level of Dutchness in the
Hmm.
program.
Yeah,
So
lots of Dutches.
that's obviously there's a connection there, but the positivity that I found from the start was something I kind of just didn't want to let go of that. I was like, this is nice. Like there is an option and opportunity. So, and then during the program, I think, yeah, the most benefit I got from the mindset um, perspective, like how
Hmm.
important that is.
Yeah.
I still have to remind myself, but I think that that's not something you change from one day to the next. But
No,
it's
that's like a gradual process, but
yeah, exactly. So, and then, yeah, the fact, the community, and then, obviously meeting a business partner through the program has been really, yeah, has been great. So that ability to meet other people who are in the same perspective and also see that, you're not alone in your desire to do something different and that it's totally possible to do so. That's for me the most valuable piece.
awesome. Thank you. Um, do you mind sharing a little bit more about your accountability partner turns business partner?
No, of course. Yeah, so I met Clara through the program as an accountability partner, and we found that we had, yeah, though very different stories, our kind of goals are very similar and approaches are similar. So we decided that yeah, if you want to go fast, you do things on your own, but if you want to
Hmm.
go far, you do it together. So
Yes,
that
lovely.
really was very applicable to us. So we decided to join forces and yeah, set up a business together. So which is really exciting.
So exciting. Looking forward to what that's gonna bring you guys.
Mm. Yeah, we'll definitely share. I mean, the community feels a part of that. I think our confidence in going along with that is really boosted by the idea that we'll still have access to a
Hmm.
community, right? That we can reach out to, if we need support with anything, or also if we have work or that we would like to outsource,
Yeah, amazing.
or we have questions. And I think it's also great that the community kind of find, obviously I mean, in my normal work, there's a lot of talk about AI, but the fact that the
Hmm.
program also really, it feels that it's constantly making sure it's up to date.
Hmm.
And I
Yeah, we
think,
try our best. It's
yeah, I
changing rapidly, but yeah.
yeah, exactly. And that is really challenging, isn't it? But to be
Hmm.
able to go and to share, like, okay, what's happening here, and to know that there is a resource there to
Yeah,
find your way through this enormous amount of information that you can find on everything.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
great.
Cool. So what would you say is like your biggest accomplishment since joining the program?
Um, for at the moment, I would say definitely a mindset change where I would have always doubted myself to do something like that.
Okay.
And the fact that I'm now confident
Doing
will
it.
make a success and we're doing it. And the sheer feeling that that gives me, and the positive, the changed outlook with regards to where I am in my life has been that's great. And that's I think that's the biggest achievement. So
Yeah, that's amazing. Cool. So before joining the program, like what were your thoughts about investing into it? You already shared a little bit that you were a little bit like, am I really gonna do this? But so what were your thoughts and what made you decide to do it anyways?
yeah, so I was a bit weary. I was like, okay, am I really going to spend, this money on something that I found through social media?
Mm.
I think also I was a bit reluctant to kind of tell a lot of, people that are close to me about it
Okay.
immediately because I didn't want someone to just say to dismiss it, and
Mm.
then I would be really disappointed. I was like, no, this feels so good. I don't want anybody, yeah, excuse my language, to piss all over it if
Mm.
that makes sense. Like,
Yeah, that makes
so I was, because they don't, yeah, they wouldn't have gone through the same, like first, just seeing yet posts on Instagram, and they still, even though I'm not a target audience anymore, I think I'm still like and enjoy seeing them because of the
sense.
positivity. And if I need that kind of reminder or something. So I went through a bit of a process of just liking that and thinking, okay. And then I was like, yeah, I mean, I really felt positive about my interaction with Linda as well. So to talk to, yeah, people that, and then you just trust your gut, I think, at some point. Like
Yeah.
it just felt good. And I was like, okay. And I could take it in steps. So I joined the skills vault first. I think the only thing I would say is that, yeah, it would have been more useful for me if I'd really done more in the skills vault, I think, before I joined. I didn't really realize, or that didn't really click with me that clear that that was the split, like what is the content of the
Mm.
skills and
Okay.
what's the content in the
Yeah.
program.
So you would have honed in on the skills first before maybe setting up the business.
Yeah, exactly. And then yeah, and the other thing is like it was very much you can do things at your own pace, but then there is the 90 days. So that's a little bit conflicting to me, but I think yeah. So I decided to just go for it because I was like, well, at least I should be able to earn the amount that I'm investing in that back.
Mm.
And then it
Yes.
didn't seem so big. Like my plan is way bigger. Like before I could give up my day job would be way bigger.
Mm.
But like, well, what's the worst that could happen? So, and then I went for it.
Awesome. Okay. So the last question I have for you is like, what if someone is like watching this right now and they are deciding whether or not they should join? What would you tell them?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you feel that they're in your mind, you really want it, I think you really have to want it. That's really important to kind of then be able to stick with it.
Yeah, and put in the
Then
action
totally
also.
go for it. If you really want that change, you don't have to be confident or anything about yourself because that will come. But
Mm.
if you really want that change, then definitely go for it. And it's also like where it will take you, you don't really know. But unless you kind of start a journey, then nothing will happen, right? So
I think that's a good way to describe it. It's kind of like a journey and then going with the flow, seeing where it takes you. Yeah.
yeah, and also make sure you're enjoying it. Enjoy the
Mm.
ride, because I
Yeah.
think that's one of the things that's really important for me as well. It's like when I felt stressed out about it, I was like, hey, that's it, this is not supposed
Mm.
to happen. And I think, yeah, when I turned that around again, I said, okay, well, you know, I'm supposed to do this at my own pace. And I felt I could also do that. Then, yeah, and making sure it's still fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally
then
agree.
that's really important as well, I think.
Yes, I agree. All right. Thank you so much for sharing.
No problem.